Hi, and welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video, we're going to learn the 4 to 8 player game, Telestrations, which is published by the op who helped sponsor this video. Are you a pretty great artist? Well, get ready to show off your skills. Are you maybe a terrible artist? You know what? That could be even better. Because we're about to learn a classic drawing and guessing party game that could be enjoyed no matter what your artistic ability may or may not be. So join me at the table and let's learn how to play. To set up, put this card box, sand timer, and die in the center of the play area. The cards in the box are double-sided, and as a group, you'll pick whether you want to use their this side or that side. It makes no difference which side you pick, just stick with whichever side you chose for the rest of the game. Now every player takes one card from the box on the chosen side. For this game, we'll assume they went with the blue that side. You can always look at your own card, but make sure you keep it a secret from the other players. Each person now takes a sketchbook, marker, and cleaning cloth, writing their name here on the front of their book. And that's the setup. In Telestrations, players will each be drawing a picture in their own sketchbook that represents a secret word. Then they'll pass their drawings clockwise around the table where the next person will try to guess what they've drawn. Then the books get passed again, and it will continue like this, creating some very interesting outcomes as things get drawn and guessed back and forth. The goal of the game is to have fun, and if you're having it, well, then at the end, everyone's won. But there are some rules for scoring too, if your group prefers to have a definite winner, which we'll learn about at the end. To start the game, have one of the players roll the included die. Then each player checks the word on their card at that value. In our case, if we assume we rolled a 4, we see smoked turkey. Opening our sketchbook, we now write this secret word into the secret word space found on the very first page. Just keep in mind, you cannot tell anyone what your secret word is. You must keep it hidden. If the value rolled takes you to a blank result on your card, it means you get to make up any word or words that you want. If instead you see an underlined phrase, this represents a category, and you can make up any word or words from it. So in this case, we could pick a favorite type of animal. And last but not least, if you see this character in the corner, you ignore the die and just pick any word you like from the card. Either way, once you have your words secretly recorded, check how many players you have. Here I've set up a game with 6 players. If you have an even number, so 4, 6, or 8, hang on to your own book. But if you instead have an odd number of players, 5 or 7, pass your book to the player on your left, which means you'll get a book from the player on your right. The minor differences for how things start just ensures that no matter how many players you have, the game will end on the same type of page within the sketchbook, as we'll see later. With that settled, now it's time to sketch. If you're still holding your own sketchbook, you'll keep your secret word in mind and then turn to the Page 1 tab here. If you had an odd number of players, it means you're now holding someone else's book. So first privately look at their secret word and then turn to the Page 1 tab. In either case, the sand timer is now flipped and everyone at the same time has 60 seconds to draw a picture of the word or phrase they just saw. I'm going to pretend we have an even number of players. My word is smoked turkey, so I'm going to do my best to draw a picture that represents that. Now, a drawing cannot include any letters or numbers, and I can't leave the page blank. I just have to do the very best I can. And remember, I can't let anyone see what I'm drawing or talk about it in any way. And frankly, at this point, I'm not sure I'd want to. This is not exactly my best work, but time is running out and I'm trying to explain rules at the same time. So we'll say that I ended up with something like this. When the time is up, you can give players just a couple of seconds to finish up, but don't let any Picassos at the table go on for too long. Once everyone is done, everyone flips the booklet they're holding to the Page 2 tab. Now it's time for guessing. Everyone passes their booklet to their left. From the book that you receive, you'll now secretly look at just the previous page only. Don't go back any further. Let's pretend for a second that you're the player who just got handed the sketchbook that I had drawn in. You'd flip back to secretly look at the picture I drew. Oh my, you'd think to yourself, and then you'd flip forward and try to guess with words what the drawing had represented. You decide that it must be a drawing of a stinky bird. Just make sure you don't write your guess as a question or leave the page blank. Instead, go ahead and write your best guess, no matter how silly it might be. Also, the timer is not required for this step. Just give everyone a chance to fill in their guesses. And then, when finished, everyone turns to the next page and then passes their booklets to the left. This will show a blank picture page again, and so players will look a single page back to see the new word clues and have 60 seconds to draw a picture based on what was written. So on this page, they draw something representing a stinky bird. And the game will continue like this, with players drawing a picture and passing, writing a guess and passing, drawing another picture and passing, and so on, until you get your own book back, which you can identify from your name on the front. Now it's time for the big reveal. When we play, this is usually quite a fun process, as each person gets a turn to show everyone, beginning with the start of their book, each one of the pages that were filled in. This will usually result in quite a few surprises, as players get to see just how far from the original words, or occasionally just how close to the original words, that they got by the end of the book. For many people, this is the real fun of the game, and you can just erase the books after and start again drawing new cards for everyone. But if you want to have a final winner, there are rules for that using two possible scoring methods, known as friendly or competitive. Now, no matter which method you use, you'll play 3 games and then total your scores from all of them. For friendly scoring, after you reveal the outcomes in your own book, go through it and pick the sketch that was your favorite. The player who drew it gains 1 point. Then pick the guess that was your favorite, and that player also gets 1 point. Finally, give yourself 1 point if the last guess in your book matches the secret word you wrote at the beginning. Players record any scores they've gained at the top of the front page. Points for the first game go here in the top row, the second game score goes here, and the third goes here. In a competitive game, instead check the pages with written guesses. The players who wrote those guesses will score 1 point if their guess matched either the last written guess or the original secret words. Any player who drew a sketch that helped the written guess make a correct match also gains 1 point. For example, this player wrote Stinky Bird because they saw this picture. Now, Stinky Bird was not the original phrase, it was smoked turkey. But Stinky Bird was the phrase that this picture was based on. So this artist helped this player guess a matching phrase. So the artist here gains a point. Now, when you're playing with scoring rules, it can be really helpful to have players write their names on the pages here so you know who did a drawing or who wrote a guess. Finally, in competitive mode, you also gain 1 point if in your sketchbook the last guess matches the original secret words. On the back of the rulebook, you'll find some additional rules to mix things up in future games if you like, and some tips on how to ensure your markers and books last a long time. And if you want to play with even more people, there's also a 12-player party pack with components so 12 players can play at once. But otherwise, that's everything you need to know to play Telestrations. If you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. You'll also find forums for discussion, pictures, other videos, and lots more over on the games page at Board Game Geek, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like, subscribing, and clicking that little bell icon so you get notification anytime we post a new video. And if you'd like to support us directly, you can join our Patreon team, which we'll have linked below. But until next time, thanks for watching.